Welcome back, everybody. It has been another awful week for me. Not so much awful for everyone else, but we'll get to that later. Let's just kick right on to it. I'm not really in the mood for doing an intro today. Lucy, go on.
Hey, all right. Well, hey, people. Welcome back. And yes, Wildcarders Unite. Many people have played their wildcards, including myself, as a really last minute decision, especially after learning about Kevin De Bruyne's injury. So yes, this was a week full of injuries. This was a week full of stuff, and we have our best and finest to help us navigate these tough times. So we have Keats, myself. We also have Fionn and Justin with us today. Fionn, how are you feeling right now?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, not too bad. And Justin, how about you?
Oh, I'm
Is your
open. I'm loving FPL at the moment. It's great.
All right, cool. So, yes, we've got a very mixed reaction panel. We've got indifferent, giving up, Justin, who's roaring, Fionn, who's always chill, and our angry manager has been so pissed off by the fact that he didn't play his wild card that he's not with us today. So, Rip Todd, press F, and instead of going through the mournful stuff, we're going to start with how huge everyone's scores have been this week. So, despite the wildcards flying around, the obvious transfers in were Harry Kane and Heung-min Son. So, it's no surprise that our league in itself this week, majority of us definitely bought Heung-min Son, simply because he was a direct replacement for Harry Kane, right? So it goes without saying. Now, of course, I was the only idiot that didn't bring in Son because, differential brain. So, anyway, more on that later. So the trend was everyone selling De Bruyne, buying Heung-min Son. And as a secondary move, there was a huge shift in strikers. So people were selling Werner, Mitrovic, Jimenez, and a whole Shea Adams, a whole lot of Keenan Davis also left a few players' teams. So yeah, lots and lots of strikers left, but besides Harry Kane, there were other popular striker picks like DCL, despite the game against Liverpool, and Ryan Brewster, just to make cash. So lots and lots of different moves here and there. Of course, these are just transfers among people who didn't wildcard. So you can imagine that, with a wildcard, you would definitely, pretty much everyone has Heung-min Son and or Harry Kane right now. Like, if I look at the 49 teams in our league and I type Harry Kane, about half of us own him right now. Okay? So this doesn't include the set and forget teams that Basil has picked. This doesn't include the inactive teams at the bottom, and this doesn't include our standard date team. So effectively, it's about 60 to 70% owned for Harry Kane. Heung-min Son is owned by pretty much everyone. 3/4 of us own Heung-min Son at this stage. I should buy him. Did I? I didn't buy him. Shit. Okay, I'm in trouble. Now, so, all right, so that's the trend on the league as a whole. Now, on to the straightforward stuff first. Let's settle the grudges from last week, and I'm going to do a quick snapshot version because I don't have time to look through everything. Now, let's start with the green players. So, Justin, your prediction powers have been recognized here. You've got your Werner double digits. You've got your Bruno Fernandes double digits. And on top of it, your legendary Nick Pope pick in a 0-0. Man. Justin, you are our prophet of the week, man.
Yeah.
Well done. Oh, sorry. I forgot to share screen.
I was about to say.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. My bad. All right, so this part can be edited out. So anyway, all right. So straight on to the league predictions we made last week. And to save time, I am going to just show a snapshot of what everyone did right this week. So Well done, Justin. You are our prophet of the week. You nailed the double digits on Werner. You nailed the double digits on Fernandes. But the difference between you and our overlord Fionn this time is the West Brom Burnley game, where you correctly got Nick Pope, and on top of that, you predicted a 0-0. The first 0-0 of the season. Can you imagine that? The first 0-0 and you nailed it. Yes, so well done. You are our prophet of the week, so we should listen to everything you say this coming week. Okay. Shout out to Fionn, who should have had that Ramsdale penalty saved by Mitrovic. You know, I had my heart in my mouth when I saw Mitrovic taking that penalty against Sheffield. But oh well, it didn't happen. So this is our predictions this week, and we'll see if Todd manages to cool down and come back. Maybe we'll do another round of predictions right at the end of this pod. Okay, so we'll save that for later. Now, on to the main stuff. So as usual, we have awards, and the awards this week have been fantastic because everyone, well, not everyone, like most of us had huge scores despite selling some players who managed to gain revenge on the league. I can imagine you guys could guess, right, some of the strikers that we've sold, racking up big hauls, such as Shea Adams, such as Timo Werner, such as Jimenez, Ings, right? So, yeah, it was really difficult to look at who actually genuinely benefited. So, first and foremost, there was a bit of hype, mainly by one guy, on making Team of the Week. And I'm pretty sure, to his chagrin, his 91 score was matched by two other people. So, Keith, does he get Team of the Week for that?
I'll be honest, I haven't even looked at it. I've been totally off FPL mode ever since I did Stinker in a week last week.
But just in theory, if three teams have the same top score, do they still get Team of the Week?
It's the one that had scored the most goals, most assists, and least conceded, I think.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
we'll settle that grudge later, but we're gonna acknowledge all three big scores this week, starting with our very own James Mulaney. So this is his 91, and his class of 91 has how many goals in there? Did Bruno score 2? So 2 from Bruno, 1 from Son, 1 from Salah. It's 2 from Adams. No, 1 from Adams. So 1, 2, 3.
Bruno only
Yeah.
got
Oh, Bruno only got 1?
he got a goal and an assist.
Oh, okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 goals from James. Now, this stellar lineup he achieved was without a wild card. And in all honesty, he gets the Keep Calm and Keep Differentials award, because if you look at his lineup, Shea Adams did not move since game 1. While all of us have been taking hits and selling and shit, he has kept Adams through thick and thin. He has kept Alan St. Maximin through thick and thin. He has kept Charlie Taylor, Carl Walker-Peters. So they have all basically delivered for him at some stage of the game. So yes, you guys are absolutely right. Like, if your team is good, you don't have to sell them, because they could return for you 1-4, 1-3, and you never know. All right. So this is the first approach to getting a good game week. And for the record, he also sold KDB. He also sold another striker, which I forgot right now. He sold Keenan Davis, his dad Keenan Davis. So he sold Keenan Davis and he sold KDB, and he bought Son and Kane. And this is simplicity in its own elegance, right here. How you get a 91. No bombastic move needed. Okay, so the second 91 goes to our extremely epic wildcard at the very bottom. Now, Toast finally gets a mention in this league, and this 91 team has how many goals? 1 Salah, 1 Son, 2 Kane, 1 DCL. So just the 5 goals, and he still manages to score 91 off the 3 clean sheets at the back. 2 clean sheets at the back. And in this particular case, this wildcard for him would have been absolutely epic. He should have been raving about it because check out his score the previous week. Look at that. Crazy, right? Can you imagine scoring 30, hitting your wild card and scoring a 91?
Big moves.
That is absolute madness. That is absolute madness. Like, the players he picked up on his wild card were players like Son, Harry Kane, Martinez, the 777 you saw at the back, the 777 you saw, right? Stace, Dinia, right? All of these were all newly picked up. So he made really, really good picks on his wild card. He bought really well. Unfortunately, I need to show you guys the players he sold. You guys ready for this? So Charlie Taylor got the clean sheet. Look at who he sold. So Kevin De Bruyne was an obvious one, but he sold Zaha. And on top of that, check out the guys he sold up top.
$26 points.
Adam's 11-pointer, Werner's 16, and potentially, if Mitrovic didn't miss that penalty, it would have been way more than 2. So, I don't know. I want to ask you guys, in his position, would you guys have been happy or disappointed? Like, Fion, what do you think?
You can only be happy with that many points.
Even if you knew that the potential of a wild card, like 1 week earlier, maybe you didn't have to do anything and just get KDB for Son.
Hindsight. It's like,
It doesn't really matter, really. You get 91 points, you're happy either way.
Yeah,
Justin?
I'll take it. I don't care how it comes as long as it comes well.
All right, cool. So, opportunity cost aside, we have another honorable mention, not for a 91-pointer, but from our 90-pointer, Sidakwa Boy. Sidakwa Boy's 90-pointer was an actual epic wildcard because he got these 90 points from 8 people who got returns. So from this team, I want you guys to take a look at who he sold. All the duds that he sold here. So if you had this team before game week 5 and you switched to your 90-pointer, man, you'd be pretty damn happy. Because pretty much everyone here, turned out to be flops other than Ings. So huge kudos to Cyro for his 90-pointer. Yeah, because I think it's definitely very underrated. Now, our last 91-pointer comes from the overhyped man himself, all the way down from dear Wills. And Will's 91-pointer has been, so this award, I call it, so this is the name of Will's award because he did it. Very rarely you have a clash where you have 2 teams playing each other, 2 strong teams playing each other, where you can actually pick up all your players having attacking returns. And he did it. he actually got all 5 scorers. So he got Robertson's assist and bonus. He got Luka Dean's assist and bonus. He got Salah's goal, DCL's goal, and James Rodriguez's assist. So all those points firmly put him in the 91 he got today. Yeah, it's just a shame that he didn't get Team of the Week. But yeah, what can you do? Okay, now, so these are celebrating the big scores, and of course, us being a Senate League, we love our differential Daniels. So our second category are all about differential Daniels. Okay, so don't worry, we're near the end. So we'll get the cheer keys up soon. Now, the first Daniel that we're going to celebrate is the Daniel Radcliffe Award. So the Daniel Radcliffe Award is basically about, making a whole lot of money, but at what cost? You're really successful and you get a lot of shit done, but what did you sacrifice in the end for that success? So this award goes to someone at the very top, Ahmed. Now, Ahmed's moves were somewhat inspiring because he also bought Son and Kane in the same week. All right, he bought Son and Kane in the same week, but I want you guys to see who he sold. There's a reason all his arrows are red in his leagues. Yeah, and it's because he, sold Adams and he sold Sterling's 11-pointer. So it's a bit unfortunate because it means that, he sold 22 points and he got 27 points back. So even though he managed to get 26 points out of the players he got in, it got all negated by the hit points that he took. So all he really got was a whole bunch of cash. But still, right? Good differential Daniel moves. All right. The second Daniel comes from the Bible. So Daniel chapter 10, verse 12 says, "Do not be afraid, Daniel." And this award goes to Arvind Singh. So wrong one. Wrong Arvind. Sorry. It should be Saini. Where is this? There we are. Yes, Arvind Saini. Okay, so this differential Daniel comes from the fact that, number one, if you guys buy Heung-min Son and you do not have Harry Kane, would you guys captain Son? Or would you captain someone like Salah?
I think
What do you guys think?
some this week, so nothing against captaining him.
Okay, Fionn Keys, what do you guys think? Would you consider?
I would have always captained Salah or Sterling.
Okay, so would you guys consider capping neither if you had Timo Werner?
No, I'm very proud of his captain choice. I had Werner as well, but I never would have considered captaining him.
Yeah, man. Can you imagine buying Heung-min Son and not captaining him? That is mad. This is mad. This is the thing. Yeah, it's a mad decision, especially after 4 blanks and, a mass exodus. So he would have lost money and points. Yeah. So, Justin, if you wanted to ask who else has Zaha in the league, there you go.
Nice.
So, yeah. Well done on getting all these differentials, and that concludes my awards for this week. Okay, share screen off. All right. Keith, would you like to begin our second part?
You're still sharing screen. There you go.
Yeah, I'm stopping it now.
Okay. So since our resident Q&A mastermind, Todd, is not here with us today, I am now your Q&A mastermind today. So to start off with, it's a doozy. It is. What do you guys think? Who would win in a punch-up or a fight? 100 Pickford-sized Seans or 100 Sean-sized Pickfords?
I think it's a fairly easy one. You got Pickford-sized Sean's, like, he's made a promise, so like it's not even like too much of a worry him losing, like when there's 100 of them.
Interesting take.
I'm Asian. I'm Asian. Who's Sean Promise?
Bit of background here would be great.
I'm looking this up on Urban Dictionary and I don't understand shit.
You're
I
fine.
think it's got to after Van Dijk got his injury. There was someone on, I think it was Instagram, who posted a photo saying, you know, you'll recover, whatever. This is Sean's promise, and he had like a photo with Van Dijk.
Oh,
That's the gist of it.
okay. All right. Huh. Wait. Well, it's gotta be Sean-sized Pickford's, right? Because it covers up Pickford's weakness, which is his height.
Is it
How
really a
tall
big
is Sean?
weakness though?
How tall is Sean?
Like 5'5".
No.
Yeah, real small.
Oh yeah, how tall is Sean?
Well, here's
Hey,
the thing. Pickford-
Anyone who knows him knows that Sean Promise is a real promise.
I'm gonna go with Pickford-sized Sean's. No, sorry, other way around.
Yeah,
Sean-
definitely.
No, sorry, other way around. Sean-sized Pickford's, because Pickford's a professional athlete. You know, he's got the stamina and the muscles. You got to be able to punch balls away and have good reflexes to be a goalkeeper.
Yeah, but if Sean lost, if the 100 Sean's lost, then the Sean promise wouldn't be fulfilled.
Yeah.
So-
Oh man, paradox right there.
Yeah, but think about like how Pickford's so slippery. You know, like the amount of balls he just drops and can't catch. Like every time you try and hit him, it'll just bounce off him and go
Oh,
anywhere.
he just like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, I'd go with 100 Pickford-sized Seans. I'll back him.
Wait, so has everyone picked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you picked, Lucy?
Oh, I'm going for Sean-sized Pickford.
Okay, there we go. The panel has spoken. Joe Rogan,
With
where you at?
a decisive 2-0.
All right.
No,
Next
I'd-
question is: if the Premier League players took part in a Royal Rumble event, every player in at random, who are you backing to win?
Is this like a fight to the death sort of thing?
It's like a battle royale.
Right.
Huh.
I'm kind of thinking Troy Deeney. Is he? Did he come back up to the Prem, or did no one get
No,
it?
he's still the
No.
champion.
Okay.
Nice.
Has to be Mark Noble.
Man,
You know who I wish we still? I wish we still had like Joey Barton.
Yeah.
does Petacek count? He's got a helmet.
He's on a scrum cap.
This is a difficult one because I can only imagine people like Sean Dyche. Too bad Sean Dyche wouldn't be eligible for this. Mitrovic? Wait. Who's the most massive Premier League player you know?
I don't know. If Roy
Alright.
Keane was still in it, it would be Roy Keane by like a mile. Oh,
Now you know what? I'll back Connor Cody.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
think
good shout.
a big midfielder like a Doucouré or a Fabinho or something.
Oh, I know.
What about
I would.
Thomas Suchek?
Yeah, Suchek's massive.
Like 6'5".
He'll just step on you.
No. I'm the Wolves fan here. I know who my boy is. I'm definitely backing super oily Adama Traore. Biceps everywhere. Kapau. Yes, Adama Traore for me.
All right.
Yeah.
So I said Connor Cody. Lucy says Traore. Who did Justin pick again? Suchek, and Pion obviously picked Suchek as well, right?
No, Mark Noble,
Oh,
definitely.
right.
Right, no one going with like big boy Maguire. Maguire has the experience.
Yeah.
But he's
would
too
Mark
slow.
Noble personally eliminate Grady DeYounganar, or would he save him till the end?
I don't know. I feel like trying to take down Maguire though would be like trying to take down like a Titan or something. Like you need 50 people working together to bring him down.
Well,
No. You just
officers did it.
you leave him alone, and he will pull down his own teammates. He will trip over himself and pull his own teammates over, and he'll settle himself. You don't have to bother him at all.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be like an AT from Star Wars where you just like have to go around his legs.
Yeah.
Just, like, balls.
Alrighty, onwards we go. So the first real FBL question, I will say. Trent Alexander-Arnold, is he a hold or a sell at this point in time?
That's tough.
He's gone for me. Yeah, Fionn, go.
I think he's like it's undeniable that Liverpool are negatively affected by no Van Dijk, no Alisson right now. If I was on wildcard, I'd probably have Robertson or no Liverpool defender, but I own Alexander-Arnold and I'm not on wildcard and I'm not looking to get rid of him because I just think it's not as big an issue as other issues in my team. So, and I think it's unlikely that you don't have bigger issues than Alexander-Arnold right now, especially with Sheffield and West Ham in the next two.
I don't know. I feel like people sort of think this just because Liverpool have had two not great performances, so people's knees are getting a little bit jerky. They want to start transferring him out. You know what? Little shit this week, and everyone's like, Trent is essential, right? That's how it works. People have very short memories. I'm gonna hold on to him for now. I don't really know. The problem is there aren't heaps of defenders really shining. I mean,
Really?
you know, Reguilon got an assist, Chilwell got an assist. Alex Tellers didn't start. Thank God I didn't bring him in. So yeah, no one's really, making themselves a must-have at the moment.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Sometimes players force themselves into your team, like Heung-min Son and Calvert-Lewin have forced themselves into people's teams. There aren't very many defenders doing that at the moment.
Okay. TAA is gone for me. But I do this with legit reasoning. I have, in my team, I had TAA, Robertson, and Salah from my wildcard. So the only reason I would sell TAA is to buy another Liverpool player. So I sold TAA to buy Sadio Mane. That's my reasoning. Otherwise, I wouldn't have sold him. So yes, I have Sadio Mane instead of Heung-min Son. That's my differential against the player that literally everyone has.
You don't have Son.
No, I still don't have Son. I've got Mane, Salah, and James Rodriguez in midfield, and I've got Harry Kane up front. I have no room for Heung-min Son.
Yeah, I basically agree with what Lucian said. I was on Wildcard last week and I sold Trent, but that was a outlet for me to be able to afford Mo Salah. So I wouldn't have sold Trent if it meant going without any Liverpool players. But in saying that, if I was going to get a Liverpool defender, it would be Alex Robertson this year. The last 2-3 seasons, the stats between Robbo and Trent have all been swung in Trent's favour. More shots, more crosses, more involvement in the box, all that kind of jazz. This season, it's flipped, and the stats are firmly favouring Robertson this year. So more shots, more chances created, more involvement in the box. So I think for 0.5 cheaper, he's a no-brainer. You have to get Robertson first. Whether you want Robbo and Trent, it's another question. I personally wouldn't go there until Alisson's back. And especially with no Van Dijk for the rest of the season, it's going to be a bit, iffy on the defensive side of things. But we'll see how things go.
Did you end up getting Salah in, Keats, or did you?
I did. I got Salah in.
Yeah.
But that was at the expense of getting Son or Kane, which I'm fuming at. Okay, so on we go.
I think that's everyone, right?
Yep. So our next question is, let me just get these players up. So it's the fuck, marry, kill from the top 6 scoring players so far. So who do we have? We have obviously Son, Kane, Salah. The other 3 I'm not so sure on.
Calvert-Lewin.
Calvert-Lewin, yes.
Is it Callum
Is
Wilson?
Bruno Fernandes up there?
Possibly.
Bruno hasn't played. He missed a game. It might be like a Wilson or a Morpay or something.
Salah's.
Oh my goodness. No, Bruno isn't up there. Bruno is on 31. He's not top 6.
Is it Andy Robertson?
No, it's not Robertson either.
Oh.
So Kane and Son are top 2. Salah's 3rd. DCL is 4th. James is 5th with
James.
39.
Is it
Yeah.
Calvert-Lewin is 6th?
And 6, no, Wilson 7.
Oh.
Grealish is 6
Oh, Grealish. Yes, of course.
on 38. Holy crap.
So there you go, guys. Fuck, marry, kill out of those 6 players. Lucy, go.
Okay. I would kill Harry Kane the moment he opens his mouth. I would. I'm pretty sure Son is husband material. I mean, the guy went to the army, man. I think that one goes without saying. And you could. Oh, I guess DCL is also husband material. He does look like the type. But everyone else is just a one-night stand thing. Yeah. So, DCL's in the fiance level. Son is definitely a marry. I'd kill Harry Kane without blinking. But everyone else is just for a one-night stand. Yeah.
Wait, I'm confused by the format. Do we have to go through all of them and choose what we would do with them, or do we just choose 3? One for one for each.
You just use 3.
Can I go?
Yep, go.
Yeah, I'm very similar. I think kill Harry Kane. I think that's the easiest one. I think I'm gonna be fucking Calvert-Lewin just because he's got the eyes, man. He's very model looking, with the hair slicked back.
Oh, it's the Jason Momoa effect.
Yeah. He's
Yeah, like Jason Momoa.
the dark skin with the bright blue eyes is like it's a very model looking thing. And then Heung-min Son, he's just such a cutie. I just want to give him a hug, you know? Like his little smile and his hair and his just want to marry Son. He's so cute. Alright.
Beyond.
Yeah, kill Harry Kane. Definitely fuck James Rodriguez and marry Salah.
Marry Salah.
He wants the money. He wants the money.
That Egyptian coinage.
Yeah, for me, it's easy as you like. Kill Harry Kane without a shadow of a doubt. You'd fuck James and you'd marry Calvert-Lewin. Only because if you see where his goals have been scored this year, he's just always there. So if you marry him, he'll always be there for you.
I feel bad that there's no mention of Grealish at all. So sad.
To be fair, Grealish has had two good games, and we scored like 30 points in those 2 games.
Yeah, he's played one less game and he's in the top 6. That's absurd. He's gonna be fuck worthy.
Yeah. All right, next one we go. This one's one that hurts me the most. Sergio Aguero, when to hop on and keep when KDB is back? Question mark. Now, obviously, I own Aguero already. We won't talk about that. So we'll go straight on to you guys' opinions.
Oh,
No, perfect team balance. Hoppy on Aguero. Yeah. I don't know. The thing with FPL, you only get so many premium players. So even if there's, a player you really like, you might not be able to get him just because, there are lots of other players you like. So even if you do like, Aguero and Kane and Mane, if you also really like, Salah and Son and Vardy, let's say, you can't have everyone. And so it's a bit of a resource allocation issue. For someone, let's say, like Ryan Brewster or Daniel Podence, who are very cheap, like you can afford to have a few of them. But I just think Aguero, the way City, I don't know what's going on with Man City. They're just not playing well. I know they just won, but they didn't play well in that game. It's been like 3 or 4 games since they've been convincing at all. I think they miss David Silva. I don't think, Fernandinho is looking very old and he's sort of held that team together for a long time. So I'm not convinced. I mean, Aguero could come in next week and score a hat-trick because that's just what Aguero does. But we'll have to see, I guess.
Yeah, Beyond.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, I guess, but I'd probably consider myself to be bigger on Aguero than most. And I'd say if I was wildcarding in the coming weeks, it's very likely that I'd get him, I think. I think he's not a bad pick. I don't know when exactly I jump on. My team structure doesn't massively allow for it right now anyway, so I don't really have to ask that question of myself. But I definitely think he's a good pick, and I think I'd probably own him on wildcard.
And Lucy, are you still there?
yeah, I'm still there. I'm trying to pull up some stuff that I read over the last week. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a heads up. I'm about to go on a tactical tangent here because City... Okay, when Man City were good, when Man City were attractive in terms of FPL, there were 2 things that were appealing about them. The first being that they were tactically unique. They were always ahead of the curve. They were always the trendsetter for tactics, for people to follow, to decipher. And usually that means that they have first mover advantage. They pull out all the moves and people do not know how to handle Pep. So that's the first part of it. The second part of it is that Pep has drilled in this mentality within the Man City squad that everybody knows now about how they're so relentless, not just in terms of their pressing, but also in terms of how if you're winning 1-0, you don't stop at 1-0. You have to go and smash it 4-5-0. So those were the two things that made people own 3 Man City players all the time. And I don't think we see that this season. The tactical edge has been hampered by injuries. So I was trying to pull up the Man City game because that's our only realistic data with Aguero in it. And in terms of tactics, it's again really difficult to judge without KDB or David Silva now. But based on the eye test, because I believe you guys would have watched that game as well, Aguero was basically stuck up front. No, sorry, he was not stuck up front. Sorry, that's what I meant. He was not stuck up front, and he made genuine effort to drop back and get involved with play. Their goal against Arsenal, for example, right? The ball was on the right side. Mahrez had it. He was stuck on the touchline, and he played this magnificent through ball to Aguero, who, happened to be between the lines. So Sergio Aguero has not played the second striker role for a very long time. I think the last time he actually did that was maybe when he played alongside Balotelli. Even with Dzeko, he was still the furthest striker ahead. But with Balotelli, he would probably play the number 10. That's why Aguero usually wears number 10. So in that sense, I think that Aguero is definitely worth holding on to now, but he will not have the explosiveness of 20 plus points in a single game week anymore because he's not the furthest forward. He's not designed to hang on the shoulder of the last defender to place himself well for goals because he has to get involved. That's how Pep's team is evolving. The second issue with the pressing is that Pep has not refreshed his entire squad up front. Phil Foden's the only new addition, but in terms of pressing, everyone's older. Most of them are either peak age or just past peak age. And unless Ferran Torres starts playing regularly, I think Bernardo Silva is realistically the only guy in his mid-20s playing up front.
Ferran Torres just scored, by the way.
Mm.
Can I add on to that? Honestly?
Yeah.
How weird was Manchester City's formation against Arsenal?
Yes, I was gonna pull that up actually. So I'm gonna do that now.
I don't know if
Yeah.
because they're playing Arsenal and they're trying to outthink each other. So Pep moved to a Marcelo Bielsa style 3 at the back, where I couldn't believe it. Ake was playing left wing back. And then
Yes,
Walker
that's right.
Back. But what was happening? He played Sterling through the middle. Now, Sterling's been around for probably 10 years or so now, maybe a bit under. I've never seen him play through the middle.
Okay, this is the structure of the team.
But that's not what it's like in attack.
Correct, but this was their default setup. So they start off like this, and then Aguero stays central, Sterling goes into the half space, Foden and Mahrez drift in narrowly, while Ake and Cancelo bomb forward. So this is the pattern. So they start off like this, but Cancelo and Ake bomb forward, while Foden and Mahrez tuck in. So that's in theory. And when they did actually attack, give me a minute. So this was one example.
Yeah, there we go. That's the one.
Yes, this is the one that we were looking at, where Cancelo moved up, into midfield, and the front four basically just stood up there in one line. So this is what I meant when Sterling goes into the half space, where he sits next to David Luiz. So Sterling's number 9. He stands in front of Luiz and he just rushes into the space between Luiz and Bellerin, because you can see how huge that gap is, right?
Yeah.
So that was basically Sterling's strategy right there.
Right. So here's what I was gonna say. Well, we've been talking about this for weeks now. How with the big teams, everything's about the half space. And it's the reason why the top scorers in your team are not going to be, Firmino and Lacazette and Martial. They're going to be Salah and Mane. They're going to be Aubameyang, and they're going to be Rashford. And it's because it's not your strikers who are getting the goals anymore. Your strikers are all about link up. It's about your wide plays. And the perfect example of this is look at the Manchester City goal. And Aguero drops deep, gets the link-up play, and Phil Foden goes into the half space. He absolutely turns Hector Bellerin because Phil Foden's left-footed, so Hector Bellerin throws him to his left foot, and then he cuts him on his right. And then he passes it into Sterling, who's unmarked because he's in the middle.
Was it a pass or was it a save from a
It
rebound?
was a save that goes into Sterling, who was unmarked. Yeah, Leno doesn't push it wide. So what I'm trying to say is that the only issue for the big teams, especially, the strikers just get the centre backs are just so big in the Premier League now. The strikers just get bullied all game. So the good players don't play striker because the good players don't want their ankles kicked. It's true. Like if you think of like your Dunks and Whites or your Tarkowskis and Mees or whatever, they just kick your ankles all day. And so the good players are playing wider now. Even Timo Werner's starting on the left wing. And there's a good reason for that. So yeah, that's you just got to watch out for those wide players are just where everything's happening at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I'm also going to integrate Todd's point because he did leave a note. So he mentioned that when Spurs' good fixtures end, that's when City's good fixtures start. So I'm going to read out Spurs fixtures now. Game week 6, they have Burnley, Brighton, West Brom. That's in 6, 7, 8. While City play West Ham, Sheffield United, and Liverpool. Then what happens is that City and Spurs play each other on game week 9. And then Man City's fixtures are like Burnley, Fulham, Man United, West Brom, Southampton, Newcastle. Yeah, it's a dream run. While Spurs will run into Chelsea, Arsenal, Palace, and Liverpool. 3 hard ones in 4 games. Well, assuming Chelsea's a hard game. But yeah. So that is something that I believe is doable, where you hold Spurs for 3 games and then you properly look at Aguero. Because for now, it's good to hold Harry Kane. Like, realistically, you wouldn't be owning both Kane and Aguero. I don't think you can, especially with Salah there. So, yeah, that would be my opinion. Keep Kane for 3 games, then decide on whether you want to have Kane or Aguero for game week 9. And then after game week 9, go for it. Hop on to Aguero.
I was so annoyed with myself because that was my original plan all week, was to have Kane for 3 weeks, then jump on Aguero. Well, once he's got a bit more minutes in him and he's fit for the stream run. But then I don't know what happened. That friggin' Instagram post by Aguero just threw me right off. And I figured, if I want him in the future, why waste a free transfer in the future when I can just get him now? Obviously, that backfired massively, and now I have to keep Aguero for the long haul. But yeah, it's just things change in a matter of minutes. I could have had Kane. I could have went for my original plan and been about 30 points better off. But no, it's the way it works, unfortunately. But I will also say that, Aguero did have opportunities against Arsenal. We did defend very well that game, as we said. We defended very well. The only time we didn't defend well was obviously when you said, yeah, Sterling unmarked from a Leno save, 1-0. That's it. But for the rest of the game, we kept them relatively quiet. But Aguero was still making runs in behind and, coming out wide to get the ball, making chances for other people. So I'm not worried about him not getting points. He will get points. It might be a bit, like as you say, he might not be as explosive as he once was, but he'll still get points. He's on pens, which is always a bonus. And and to answer the question, I would actually say once Kevin De Bruyne comes back, I would still probably have Aguero over him at this point in time. But I don't know what you guys think about that. So would you guys have Kevin De Bruyne when he comes back instead of, say, Aguero? Let me ask you this. If you had Kane and Son, and you had the choice of either going Kane to Aguero or Son back to Kevin De Bruyne, which one would you do?
Kane to Aguero.
Kane to Aguero, purely for the price differential.
Yeah. See?
Yeah, but also Kane and Aguero are the same price, and Son's 2.5 cheaper than De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
There's one more question we have, and it is still related to Man City. It's the Mahrez Conundrum. He's generally stepped up whenever KDB has been injured. Will you get him, or is he a trap?
Am I the only Mahrez owner here?
I think he must be.
I definitely don't think he's a trap, but I'm not getting him.
Yeah, I wouldn't go there personally, but we've said it all season, even pre-season. If you own Mahrez, you have to expect some 1-pointers and some, 14-pointers. It's just the way it works with owning guys like Mahrez over, a De Bruyne, Sterling, or Aguero. He will be benched. He will start other games. When he does start, you can expect, some points. But when he's benched, obviously that might be more often than not. And then, well, we don't know. If you're going to own Mahrez, you have to take the 1-pointers with the 14-pointers. Is basically what I'm trying to say.
It pains me to say this, but I don't think he's a trap.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not a trap. It's just like his points, rely on him starting consistently week in, week out.
Yeah,
When he does
and
start,
we are
just play to own.
we are expecting him to start consistently now, week in, week out. I think my bigger concern is the mentality of the team. So the thing about City, after they went 1-0 up, is that they didn't play to beat Arsenal on the counter. Whereas in yesteryear, City was so dangerous because they could go 1-0 up and they had the flexibility of either controlling the game and just not allow the opposition any of the ball, or they would hit you on counter. They would let other teams have the ball, and they would have like players with huge amounts of pace. like Mahrez, that will sit on the shoulder of the fullback and just burst into space, kind of similar to Harvey Barnes. They didn't do that against Arsenal. That was what worries me. They kept their wingers wide, peeled to the sidelines, and they went for the patient game. And I don't think that will change again for the next few games. That's my concern.
But
I think
again,
tactically.
Arsenal did defend well.
Oh
Like,
yes, I mean I'm saying
we had,
they did defend well.
a back three of Gabriel, Louise, who came in for holding, and then Tierney as the other centre back. And those three were a tight knit bunch. I felt there was one lapse in concentration that led to a goal, but other than that, we kept them relatively.
So my point is, once City went 1-0 up, City didn't choose to let Arsenal the ball and to go Arsenal forward to play on the counter.
I've seen it so many times. City just, they go 1, then they go 2, then they go 3, then they just, sit back and just let you do whatever they want because they're so comfortable on the ball. They don't really do that without De Bruyne. David Silva is just a huge out because the way he could just control tempos of games, as I said before, Fernandinho in the midfield. Rodri's a good player. He's no Fernandinho though. They don't have that tempo controlling midfield anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, Bernardo was a good player, but he's not, imposing himself on a game like David Silva would.
Almost unthinkable.
Yeah.
A team like City is very depleted at the moment.
Yeah.
With the amount of depth they've had in recent years.
Well, they lost Sane, and they replaced him with Torres, but Torres hasn't really played like Sane would.
Yeah. So I would say this time round, I don't expect Mahrez to actually get points for the next few because of the new mentality of this team.
But then you own him, so wouldn't that make him into a trap bracket?
Not anymore. I had to buy money. I had to buy money and I had to sacrifice somebody.
Right. Okay, well, that's all the questions we have, boys.
Oh, what about Fionn? Did Fionn say anything? I don't remember him saying anything.
Oh, yeah, Fionn.
Is this about Mahrez, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just said that I don't think he's a trap. I'm just not interested in him right now. Like, as you guys said, like, there's a bit of a question mark over City, so... But, like, when their fixtures turn and if their play improves a little bit, I don't see why he isn't a good option. That's that.
All right. That's great. So, yes. If you heard that WhatsApp message go off, it means that I have just sent Todd the fixtures on which we are going to do league predictions for. So we are near the end, and I'm going to quickly share screen so that I can pull up that ever-faithful spreadsheet for this game week. So as usual, we assume that there are no injuries, and we're going to cast our eye over what's going to happen next, especially since we have a new prophet, and the new prophet will start with the prediction of the plum tie, Liverpool, Sheffield United. Okay, scores, boys.
8-0 for Sheffield, maybe?
Yeah, okay. Well, it's old boy Ryan Brewster coming back home. I'm going to go, though, a good little 4-0 with Trent, Mane.
Just the two?
Salah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We go backwards. Oh, right. I'm waiting for Todd later. Fionn.
2-0 Liverpool, Salah, Trent.
Oh dear. Okay. Kids.
Yeah, I'll go between. I'll say 3-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, go on.
And yeah, Salah. And I'll put Firmino there as well.
Okay, Salah, Firmino. All right, my turn to go left wing. 3-1. And Robertson gets a goal. Wahe. With Mane on the score sheet as well. Okay, those two. All right. Now, next up, we have the informed Spurs against the out of sorts Burnley. So, yes, Fionn, your go.
Um, 2-1 Spurs.
Whew.
Son has the double digit.
You might have to go down the line there, Lucian, because it's
Yeah, you're right. Thank you.
and the other
Yeah.
Burnley on the left. Yeah.
Okay, Keith.
Yeah, I'll go 2-2.
2-2. Wow, why would Burnley score 2 goals?
Why would West Ham score 3? I mean,
Burnley always score against Tottenham. I'll go for
All right.
double digits. I'll go Chris Wood and Gareth Bale. I'll back him.
All right, sounds fair. Burnley Spurs. I think they're going to screw up. So Spurs to win 1-0 with no double digits. Justin.
I'll go 3-1. I don't know. Then neither of them are going to get double digits, but I feel like it's a Vidra Wood combo. Is Vidra fit still?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
It's a very good question.
No one watches Burnley. No one cares. Sorry to all the 15 Burnley supporters out there. We'll go Sun. And we'll leave it there for now.
Okay, cool. Now, time for some conundrums. Will it be different when West Ham play Man City? So, for me, the answer is going to make Fionn very happy. Answer is yes. 2-2. And on top of this, it's going to be Antonio delivering the goods for West Ham while Sterling does it again. Okay, Justin.
I'm going to go 2-0, but it's going to be spread around, so there won't be any double digits.
Okay, Fionn.
I'll say 3-2 to City.
Oh,
Aguero, Sterling, and Souček.
I had that in mind. Okay. All right, Keith.
All right, I'm going to say 4-2 to City.
Such high-scoring games. All right, yes.
Obviously, I'm backing my boy Aguero. And I'll
Go
put
on then.
Pablo Fornals there as well.
So random. Oh my gosh. Okay, we'll take.
He might not
else.
play actually with Benrahma.
Oh, really? All right,
About.
let's put Ben-Rama there as well. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's go Fornals / Ben-Rama, whoever plays out of the two.
Did I spell that right?
I think the
Oh,
Okay,
think
Ben
so.
Rahma. Ben Rahma.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, last one, the fun tie. So, between Crystal Palace and Brighton players, I suspect that we would be more interested in Brighton players soon, looking at their fixtures. So, we'd be more. Would you guys be more interested in Brighton or Crystal Palace players? Because
surely.
Can we talk about how confusing it is that Crystal Palace signed Jack Butland and gave him the number 1 shirt? Who am I supposed to pick in goalkeeper now? Come on. Angry.
what I have received no news about Butland here. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, they signed Butland for like 500,000 and they gave him the number 1 shirt.
Maybe as a goalkeeping coach. I don't know. Really, I can't
No,
tell. How old is he?
He's still young. You know, last summer he was worth 18 million and they turned it down. Or like 24 million. I think they turned down 24 million for him. And now they got 500,000.
Okay.
Todd sent his predictions, by the way.
Yeah, I'm updating him. We're doing Fulham. Okay, so we'll do Fulham. We will do Fulham Palace. So Fulham Palace. Is it my turn to go first?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Fulham Palace. This looks like a party that. Yeah, this looks like a party, a proper party. Did Eze start last game?
Eberechi.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Oh, no, he did. He definitely did.
Yeah, they definitely did.
I think he started on the left.
Okay, so in that case, I'm gonna go with a 2-2 because I'm gonna back the same boy that I backed last week, my only correct prediction, Adema Lukman. And on top of that, yes, we're gonna hear from somebody very, very familiar right now. He was on the bench. His return is imminent. Justin.
Yes. Patrick Van Arnholt. That is an interesting call. He could start. He could have started last week.
He could have.
On Crystal Palace. See, it's an interesting one. Crystal Palace have made some good, signings. They got easy. The Fulham have made some interesting signings, I guess. Lukman's a good player. Their midfield's starting to look a bit better, but that defense is just so not good. I think it's going to be a bit of a slaughter. I'll go with a solid 3-2. We'll chuck in 3-2. We'll chuck in Mitrovic. We'll chuck in Zaha.
Wait. Who wins 3-2?
Yeah, that way. Crystal Palace. Sorry, 2-3.
Yeah.
Mitrovic, because if Fulham score, it's always Mitrovic. Zaha. Is Benteke still playing? I can't remember.
No, I think it's Batshuayi now.
It is Batshuayi. What about Jordan Ayew? I'll chuck in Jordan Ayew.
Jordan Ayew contracted COVID.
Oh, of course he did. Townsend? Is he on
yeah, Townsend played.
Townsend, yeah.
Okay, Fionn, the fun one.
I'll go 2-0 Fulham with Mitrovic and Lukman.
Whoa.
Man, that's fucking...
You want to provide reasoning for this? Because I did not expect this.
Well, I thought Fulham looked really like threatening against, especially Mitrovic against Sheffield, and Palace had one shot on target, 34% possession against Brighton. I don't think they look that impressive by any means. So I don't know. I just back Fulham to get their first win.
Okay. Keith.
Yeah, I'll say 2-2 as well. And double digits, I'll go for Palace. I'll go for Jesus. Actually, no, we'll leave it for Palace this time. We'll go for Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And I think that's it.
Cool. Okay. All right. Then, in that case, right now, I'm going to update Todd's scores. So, Todd says 4-0 to the champions with Salah and TAA getting in there. What? Okay. Then, Spurs is going to win 3-1 with Kane and Aurier. Oh, finally. Nice one.
Has he sold Doherty yet?
I don't know. We shall ask him next week. West Ham Man City goes 2-3. So we should all watch that game. Then
I'll
Bowen.
bet the goals.
Yeah. Everyone's like picking Fionn players. All right, now Fulham Crystal Palace. He says it's gonna finish 1-0 with nobody in there. So this is what the landscape looks like. Okay. Yeah. So my bit is done. Okay, Keys, you can take it away.
What are we doing now?
I don't know. Do you have anything closing to say?
I guess we can call it there.
What's everyone doing with their teams?
Oh yeah, we can talk about that for a minute. Has anyone got any transfers booked up for this week?
Nah, I'm gonna, the rare times, I'm just gonna sit back, enjoy holding that transfer. I'm very happy with how the wild card went. No need to. I'm sure by next week there'll be a huge problem, and I'll be happy to have the extra transfer helping me out there.
Also, one more thing I want to talk about is Christian Pulisic playing on the right side. How disappointing was that?
I mean, he got 2 assists for the assists. It wasn't a terrible performance.
But he played like that. He popped up in some spots, but then for the most part he was very much invisible. And then as soon as Mount went off, Pulisic moved over to the left, and he was instantly more dangerous. And he was starting to look like his old self from last season. I'm just very concerned as an owner, and someone who captained him last week. Playing on the right side is just not going to bode well.
Worrying.
It is very worrying.
I think he's still very enticing as an option, though. But we'll just have to see.
Yeah. But yeah, likewise, I'm banking my transfer this week. Well, pending any huge groundbreaking COVID regulations or outbreaks, whatever. But yeah, I'm going to hold it for this week and then reassess where I'm at next week. I had an absolute stinker last week. Surely it can't be as bad as that. Surely.
Famous last words, I think.
Yeah. Fionn, Lucy, any transfers?
I'm bringing in 2 players that Justin described as forcing themselves into people's teams. So Calvert-Lewin and Son in for Werner and Bissouma.
Selling
What? Selling Werner?
Selling Werner. Look at his fixtures, man. I mean, he plays Man United this week, but after that, he's got like 3 dream fixtures.
No, I know. I would have preferred to do something slightly different, but it was kind of money that changed things for me. But I'm not against wildcarding in the next few weeks, so I'll see how things go.
Okay. And Lucy?
The kamikaze pilot flies to Merseyside this week. So Sadio Mane comes in by upgrading Riyad Mahrez. To fund the move, TAA had to go. Unfortunately, if I wanted to do the direct funding, I would have to buy a 4.1. I'm not going to buy Max Kilman. As much as I love Wolves, I'm not buying Max Kilman. So instead, I went back to my ex-girlfriend, Luca Dean. Because Everton, well, you can never lose love with Everton. That means I had some money to make up. So I finally jumped off the Harvey Barnes train, sadly.
Sad.
It's a good run. I got the 13 and that was good enough. And money where my mouth is, I bought a Demalukman.
Not bad.
Yeah. So I think I'm the first Fulham owner here, right?
Well, apart from like Mitrovic, but
Oh yeah, Mitrovic. Damn it. Okay, never mind then. Not the first Fulham owner. Okay. All
So
right.
who are you guys captaining?
Good question. Can't actually
I'm
remember.
tempted to captain Aguero actually. I'd be Aguero or Salah.
I'm captaining Salah against Sheffield at home. I think that's pretty safe.
I'm going to flip a coin. Heads with the beard will go to Salah. Tails with no beard goes to Mane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on, do it.
What about you, kids? Who are you?
Yeah.
Well, I'm between Salah and Aguero. I'm tempted to go for Aguero just because he's playing West Ham. And like I said earlier, I'm
West Ham are really good.
turn up for London derbies, but against other teams, they just crumble and shit the bed.
I just think, if you're not going to captain Salah or Mane, I guess, at home against Sheffield, who looked awful this year,
They have improved. They have improved recently. But don't discount that.
I'm just counting it a little.
Fair enough.
My captain's on Salah too. I don't think I'm going to change it for now. Even though I have Ramsdale, so I wouldn't even mind if it was a 0-0 or something. Who got another 1 goal conceded at the weekend. Pain.
Okay. What was that? Is that all? Guess we can wrap it up there. I am praying that this week is finally a week that reverses my fortunes and turns things around. Because right now I'm having my worst start to a season since I started playing. That's saying something.
Very.
Yeah.
You keep making interesting decisions, Keys.
I know I'm always shooting myself in the foot, but the things that look good at the time, and I think, oh fuck, why did I do that? That's so stupid.
Very interesting, because I think we had similar bad weeks early on, but we took very different approaches. So I feel like I tried, points chasing a bit, where just whoever was scoring well, I tried to bring them in, whereas you've gone for differentials to try and match up.
Well, I think that's what I have to do, isn't it? Because you're not gonna catch up by owning Calvert-Lewin and everyone else who's scoring.
I mean, I think we're in similar positions though, but the thing is, it's if you don't own the players who are scoring the most points, you can't catch up. So if they're differential or not, you just got to hope that,
Yeah.
other people don't own them. But, if you not owning Sun as a differential doesn't mean it's a good FPL move. Like, you
Oh,
gotta,
come on.
like you gotta own the players like, if you own all the players who are top scoring, like, everyone else isn't going to own all the top scorers too. So it doesn't necessarily have to be about differentials.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they're differentials for a reason.
I don't know. There's just something that draws me. I don't know what it is, but something just draws me to those, the allure of those low ownership players that could go big, and it's.
I think it's very high risk, high reward, and at the moment you're seeing a lot more of the risk than you are of the reward.
I know.
I mean, I agree with you, Keith. I just think that I would do it with cheap players, not the premium ones. I would go low ownership, cheap, like Adema Lukman, and who did I get? Yeah, there were some other cheap players that I picked.
As I was saying earlier, like, my plan all week was to get Kane for 3 weeks and then dump to Aguero after 3 weeks' time. And then literally last Saturday, the day of deadline, I get that message from Aguero saying, "Look, I'm back. And that just threw me right off. And if I had stuck with Kane, I would have been 30 points better off, which is, it's just that simple decision that backfired.
Yeah. Gosh.
Even someone like, Daniel Podence, I don't have him in my team and he still frustrates me. He gets so many good attacking shots and he just hasn't scored a goal yet. Lucien, surely as a Wolves fan, he's annoying you at the moment.
No, not at all.
Question for you guys. How many more chances do I give Harvey Barnes?
Do we have time for a Wolves rant?
Yeah, I want to hear the Wolves rant.
I think from a Wolves fan's perspective, it's very disappointing that Wolves are still playing like the underdog, but for the sake of team integration, I think it's necessary for now. So the issue with Wolves isn't about how good their manager is or how good their players are and what kind of positions they get into. It's the mentality. Wolves, when Wolves were promoted, they played like the underdog and played on the counter, and it suited them because they, like, teams that were established in the league would attempt to attack them. So that played to Wolves' strength because Neves is a good passer, Moutinho can dictate play, and you had really, really fast wingers at the time like Diogo Jota and whoever. So right now, the team is changing. Wolves need to behave like a top 6 to top 8 team that can actually bully teams like Fulham. That transition is hard. That transition is really, really hard because the mentality has to shift, and you very rarely dominate with a 3-5-2 unless you have wingbacks that can score goals like Doherty, and Johnny. Johnny is actually a good goal scorer. He's very underrated. But as things stand, we don't have either anymore. So the first identity crisis happens at wingback, where Semedo's good, but standalone. And you don't have a legit left wingback. I mean, come on. Says had that good shot. Yes, give him that. But Says is not a natural left wingback. You can tell.
Why isn't Aït-Nouri starting?
Because Aït-Nouri is 21, 22. He'll take time. He has to take time to integrate. Like, the thing about bringing in a player from a foreign league, from a foreign country, is that it's not as simple as just showing up to a class where you sit down on your chair and listen to the teacher talk to you all day. It's much more than that. When players move from France to England, for example, the manager has to take care of where they live, what kind of housing area, community they live in. It's why the Portuguese players integrate into Wolves so quickly, because everyone literally stays like in that same housing community where they shop at the same supermarket, literally. So it's been that easy. The language barrier isn't there for Wolves players. Whereas, who speaks French in Wolves? I think the only guy realistically is Willy Bolly, but that's about it. You don't get many French speaking players.
Where's Saiz from?
Saiz is
Marco.
Roman says is he Swiss? No.
He's
Oh,
Moroccan.
he's Moroccan.
Oh, Moroccan. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So yeah, he speaks a little bit of French.
That'll be Spanish, probably. I think. Is it Spanish or Arabic? I'm not sure. Depends
They
where.
speak
Arabic.
Arabic, English, and French.
Northern France and Northern Africa. Northern Africa usually has French or Creole roots because they have French colonization history.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you have some French-speaking players, but Nouri is going to take a while to like properly settle everything, literally everything. So until then, Nuno is going to have to do a lot of makeshift tactics, especially against Leeds. I think Leeds was a very good example. Leeds was a very bad example to examine Wolves because Leeds tactics are so unique and so specialized, right? That Wolves intentionally let Leeds press them, and so they just went long, relied on Moutinho and Podence's dribbling skills in tight situations to just get them out of trouble, just for the first half. So what I want you guys to notice is that Nuno isn't a guy that has one plan. He likes to have multiple plans, a plan B, a plan C, and that's how he approaches games. He gears his team up for that. So I guess having no Europe is a blessing in disguise because he has all week to prepare. And in that sense, there's no plan A at the moment. Honestly, there is no plan A at the moment. Nuno is a purely reactive manager where he identifies the threats of the biggest teams he plays against and then he counters those threats. It's why his teams at Valencia has been so good because he is a reactive tactical manager just like Jose. So in that sense, that's why Wolves failed to beat Fulham by 3 goals or more. Because they are good at nullifying Fulham, but they're not really good at beating Fulham. And I don't see that happening for a while. So Podence is going to continue playing our position. Make no mistake. And he will eventually score goals. But who he does it against, I don't know. I really don't know. Because Podence is so all-rounded. He can dribble. He can sprint behind defenses. He's actually a pretty good passer. I didn't realize he was that good of a passer until I watched him play properly. So yeah, just wait for it. You gotta be patient, unfortunately.
On that
So yes.
note, I think we'll wrap it up there. Hope everyone has a good week, and we'll see you all next time. The Senate will rise.